Robots, artificial intelligence, machines. They have been working for industries since it was first introduced in 1960s. All these years, they have given the world valuable contributions to the economy. In terms of work, their service is beyond measure. They execute hordes of difficult workload more systematically. They produce more accurate and high-quality work, more precise than human workers. They deliver a great quantity in a short amount of time. No breaks, no days off, or holidays. The humans, robots, are mechanical servants that execute only the commands they were programmed with, and nothing more than just an innocent equipment designed for work production. But in the advent of a more complex technology, these robots have become more complex than just being mechanical tools. They are now gradually being developed to evolve with a greater scope of machine intelligence. And with this advancement comes the idea of artificial intelligence dominating humans. The idea of a robot takeover has been portrayed countless times in many films and theatrical plays as early as 1920. To some extent, this was proven true, as some industries have significantly laid off many human workers by robots the moment they realize the productivity and efficiency gap between the two workforce. But can this idea of AI takeover extend to much more sinister than being a substitute of labor force? Sinister like endangering human existence or machine uprising. In this video, we will explore on super intelligent AI and the growing scare surrounding the artificial intelligence going rogue.
At a top robotics company in Japan this week, 4 robots being developed for military applications killed 29 humans in the lab.
At a top robotics company this week, 4 robots being developed for military application killed 29 humans in the lab. Conspiracy theorist Linda Moulton Howe kicked off her presentation in February 2018 at a Conscious of Life Expo in Los Angeles with a bizarre announcement that would likely give a chill to every participant in the expo. The cringe became more pronounced as Howe continues with her presentation that the lab workers deactivated 2 of the robots and took apart the third, but the fourth began restoring itself and somehow linked to an orbiting satellite to download information about how it could rebuild itself even more strongly than before. Retweeted for more than 110,000 times on Twitter, the viral video incited various reactions. Howe's presentation did not point out any specific details to clearly validate the supposed secret information, so it is not settled who is the informant, what robotics company was involved, or who were the murdered scientists, resulting to some fact-checking website to simply shrug off the claim of the 4 robots going rogue and the killing of 29 scientists as third-hand information with no corroborative evidence to back it up, and eventually declared that what it was is just an anecdote designed to grab the audience's attention. The thing is, articles portraying AI on this similar context are dominating the social media. It has become very difficult to pinpoint facts from fiction, but the main source of these worries are: can artificial intelligence reach a super intelligent capability enough to stage a massive robot uprising or danger to humanity? Or was it just an exaggerated Terminator-like paranoia? The best thing to ask is, what is artificial intelligence? In many references, by definition, artificial intelligence is a branch of computer science which focuses on building smart machines that are capable of performing tasks that typically demands human intelligence. Britannica.com states that AI is about developing systems that accommodate intellectual processes that is not confined in one single intellectual trait, but on various components of intelligence like learning, reasoning, problem solving, perception, and language, traits that are only primarily identifiable with humans. These ideas of AI robots being mounted on a level of human intelligence is now posing many questions. Whether these AI robots are really capable of doing these complex processes and really capable of thinking or behaving without any human input, meaning the ability to learn on their own. To answer this question, we must first tackle the 4 types of AI and how extensive are they capable of in terms of learnings. In 2020, AI were classified into 4 distinct types: the reactive machines, limited memory, theory of mind, and self-aware. To give you a summary, reactive machine is the most basic. It's the first phase of AI system. It executes output based from input. It has no ability to learn or autonomously stores input. It has no past memory and cannot use past information to information for the future action. Limited memory, on the other hand, is a classification where AI systems can use past experiences to inform future decisions. It stores previous data or predictions and is capable of using the data to make better predictions. Theory of mind classification is when AI starts to interact with the thoughts and emotions of humans. While this type of AI is still a work in progress, this type of AI should be able to understand people's emotion, expectation. They can differentiate between various emotions of 2 different people and adjust their course of action accordingly. And finally, the self-aware AI, which is likely the extension of theory of the mind AI. Machines or computers equipped with this type of AI will be able to understand themselves and act according to this understanding. Theoretically, self-aware AI is an AI that is conscious, superintelligent, self-aware, and sentient. In short, a complete human being. While this category of AI is still at the very early stages of research, the concept is rather bizarre, because this type of AI will not only be able to understand and evoke emotion in those it interacts with, like the theory of mind, but also have emotions, needs, beliefs, and potentially desires of its own. We can say that the pinnacle of all this AI research, and probably the most ambitious, is the creation of artificial general intelligence, where robots can learn, perceive, understand, and function completely like a human being. And on top of that, the artificial superintelligence, where robots can replicate the wide range level of human intelligence and will be extremely better at every task due to greater memory, faster data processing, and analysis capabilities. Obvious enough, the AI scare seems to emanate largely from these multifaceted potentials. The lingering question is, in what extent can this super intelligent AI outperform and outclass humans? There has been a long line of news reports portraying super intelligent robots outperforming the world's best. One example of this happens in 1997 when Deep Blue won over Kasparov in a famous chess game. But today, even a smartphone can win over the reigning world chess champion Magnus Carlsen. Some systems like this can seriously upgrade only after 24 hours of self-training, like AlphaZero. Now, a London-based corporate subsidiary, DeepMind, has developed a system that can promptly master any game like chess, Go, and Japanese shogi, and note, without any human guidance. In a rather unexpected field like legal profession, AI can also prove what it can do. A study conducted by Logic legal AI platform showed an AI was 10% more accurate than humans in spotting issues with legal contract. In terms of accuracy, human lawyers achieve an average of 85% accuracy rate, while AI achieved 94% accuracy rate. In terms of speed, human lawyers completed the task 92 minutes on average, what AI completed in just an average of 26 seconds. These facts will give us an insight into what AI can do shortly. Now, where is AI's scare coming from? Following all the recent talks on AI robots, we can infer that an AI scare is associated on the notion that the rise of AI will escalate into something more sinister. Elon Musk, one of the advocates of AI regulation and one of the major players in terms of AI and robotics, announced in one of his interviews that the danger of AI can be much greater than nuclear warheads.
I think the danger of AI is much greater than the danger of nuclear warheads, by a lot. Mark my words, AI is far more dangerous than nukes.
But other than this supposed destructive uprising, AI may also create other factors that could somehow explain where is this scare coming from. Number 1. Massive retrenchment as a result of automation. Imagine laying off a great number of human workers because industries are now investing on robots to perform faster than those tasks that are originally charged to blue-collar job workers. When a work output produced by hundreds of laborers in 3 weeks can be completed by a robot in a week for a cheaper cost, it is most likely that companies will soon adhere to cost-cutting measures like automations. As in the words of Alan Bundy, a professor at the University of Edinburgh's, job losses are probably the biggest worry. Now, what if robots are capable of doing more? With the ability to self-learn and acquire knowledge without any human input, will it not adversely affect the white-collar service-oriented job later? If that is the case, what extent of adversity will it cause to human then? Another factor that would probably give us a view on where is this scare coming from is the dark motive behind the machine. In the televised address of Russian President Vladimir Putin, in which he expressly declared that whoever reaches a breakthrough in developing artificial intelligence will come to dominate the world. But imagine, what if a band of power-hungry leaders or scientists carrying a bizarre worldview suddenly got a grip of the AI, at the command of whom can execute a mechanism to realize their strange worldviews? If these advanced machines have this much intelligence, how much can it provide the person controlling it with strategic military plans, photographs, or other data of confidential nature or high-value information through surveillance that will give them superiority in a way that best serves their own interests? Number 3. Can AI robots be weaponized? Can physical weapon systems like tanks, planes, and missiles be superseded by a machine learning technology? The United Nations has tackled the lethal autonomous weapon systems, which will significantly alter the nature of warfare. This is in response to an open letter calling for the international ban of killer robots from numerous leaders in the industries of artificial intelligence who feel they are responsible for raising this warning. Some of the signatories and the major players in the artificial intelligence and robotics industries includes SpaceX CEO Elon Musk and Mustafa Suleyman, who founded Google's DeepMind. What is being feared the most about AI robots being weaponized is when these weapons landed in the hands of dark despots and terrorists and to use them against innocent population. Now, the question is, do all these claims and scares hold water? First off, we have to admit that for so long a time, we have been bombarded by AI-based movies portraying a negative image of a future where super intelligent machines will rule the world. This idea of out-of-control artificial intelligence and robot takeover have already emerged as early as 1920s, from Ava of Ex Machina in 2014 to the Westworld's Robotic Host and many others. But then the real question we have to confront is whether these AI robots can evolve intelligent enough to operate with autonomy or with the complete absence of human input to such extent of using this advantage against humanity. Manuel Cibrian, leader of the Digital Mobilization Group at the Center of Humans and Machines of the Max Planck Institute for Human Development, announced in a press release that there are already machines that perform certain important tasks independently without programmers fully understanding how to learn it. The question therefore arises whether this could at some point become uncontrollable and dangerous for humanity. This is probably the crux of all this AI scare causing worries around the globe. First, the growing scare of AI robots is not coming largely from the supposed uprising of robots, but from our fear of lack of control. We fear things that are beyond our control, the idea of which makes us vulnerable to unknown yet potential risk. Seeing AI systems becoming super intelligent gives us a sense of insecurity, and that is what terrifies us the most. Suppose there comes a super intelligent, it doesn't follow that it's all about killer robots, malevolent AI or evil machines spreading genocides across the globe. These negative portrayals of artificial intelligence in the media created this popular imagination and explicitly overly apocalyptic. But then, going back to the question whether superhuman AI can really exist, interestingly, some AI researchers themselves are now claiming that such AI is impossible. Some examples of which is from a major report from AI 100 organization titled Artificial Intelligence and Life in 2030, which claims the frightening futurist portrayals of artificial intelligence that dominate the films and novels and shape the popular imagination are fictional. Unlike the movies, there is no race of superhuman robots on the horizon or probably even possible. So while there may be a possible abuse in the use of this technology, we can also focus on the greater potential that this technology can provide humanity, like making driving a lot safer, making the quality of life better, and all sorts of benefits, whether in transportation, home service, robots, or healthcare, focusing more on the beneficial side than the supposed apocalyptic portrayal of robot uprising would somehow allow us to optimize the use of this technology to our advantage. Whether this AI scare is predicated on a supposed real and imminent danger, as some anti-killing robot campaign believes, or just another exaggerated fear on the part of some conspiracy theorists, we can say that regulatory policies are still essential to somehow moderate tech leaders from ambitiously exploiting this technology by playing gods. The absence of regulatory framework for implementing artificial intelligence may be contributory to the exploitation of technology, though not necessarily a robot uprising, yet still in an equally sinister context.